Impressed with Rolly tonight?
Nah, nobody. We all suck. We all scared of each other. They shook. They shook. They shook.
What should happen for Garcia now? Does he rematch Rolly? Is it Haney? You know, interested?
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia has responded to fans who questioned his performance without performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs, especially after his recent loss to Rolly Romero. Many pointed out the stark contrast between his dominant win over Devin Haney, during which he later tested positive for PEDs, and his underwhelming return against Romero while supposedly clean. Fans have jumped on this pattern, calling the difference telling, with some even creating AI-generated videos mocking Garcia.
I'm a trash can, I'm a choker, and everyone saw that I am nothing without my steroids tonight. I transitioned from King Ryan to Queen Ryan. To be honest, without my secret juice, I'm just a TikTok boxer. I'm not gonna lie. I might as well go back on TikTok now and box against a mannequin to impress all the high school kids.
The talk is that Ryan Garcia needs enhancements to compete at the highest level, with critics arguing that without them, he's not the same fighter. They claim his performance drops significantly when he's not juiced up, and his showing against Rolly Romero only confirmed that belief. The criticism hasn't stopped there, as many continue to question his legitimacy without PED.
Man, your name is Ryan Osterine Garcia, man. Where the hell was the juice? Hell no. Soon as I bet on this boy, he wanted to quit doing PEDs. No.
Some fans have begun labeling Ryan Garcia as a quitter, resurfacing memories of his body shot knockout loss to Gervonta "Tank" Davis, where they believe he chose to stay down instead of getting back up. That moment has lived rent-free in the minds of boxing followers who feel Garcia avoids digging deep when the pressure rises. In his fight against Rolly Romero, after being dropped in the second round, fans noticed a distinct shift in Ryan's energy and commitment, further fueling their doubts.
He's strong and had good left hook, one time he opened up, I cracked him and he didn't open up the rest of the fight.
Ryan Garcia appeared hesitant, less active, and unwilling to put himself in danger again, which added fuel to the growing belief that, while physically gifted, he lacks the mental fortitude and grit expected of elite-level fighters. The phrase circulating among fans is surely a boxer, but not a fighter, a jab not just at his skills but at his character in the ring. Never one to take punches outside the ring without swinging back, Ryan responded to the criticism by brushing it off, pointing out that fans only talk when he loses and that the hate is nothing new. He emphasized that the negativity began after the Tank fight and that people love to talk when he's not winning.
Ryan, how you feeling, champ? Good.
Ryan Garcia seems to be framing all the backlash as typical internet chatter, the kind that surfaces whenever someone in the spotlight stumbles. To him, it's all just noise, but noise or not, the pressure is mounting. Amid the chaos, Garcia made headlines again, this time for his comments about Rolly Romero following Romero's defeat to Isaac "Pitbull" Cruz. Raleigh, who had previously avoided fighting Ryan despite multiple opportunities, including one sanctioned by the WBC, was stopped in the 8th round by the much smaller Cruz. Standing just 5 feet 4 inches, Pitbull moved up in weight and convincingly took Raleigh's WBA super lightweight title, giving Ryan the perfect opportunity to fire back with verbal jabs, and he didn't waste it.
Was it the layoff, you think? The year layoff? He wasn't active?
I don't know.
He just doesn't want it?
I don't know what it is. I can't say. I wasn't in camp or nothing like that, but it could be a few things. And some people say it was a PED, so you got to get back.
Garcia ripped into Rolly Romero's chin and conditioning, saying Rolly is finished, that his body can't take punches anymore, and that the shots Cruz landed weren't even hard. He called Rolly inexperienced and claimed his chin is now toast. Ryan posted online, The guy just can't take a punch, it's the truth. From Garcia's perspective, Raleigh was never truly built for top-level competition and only reached that stage because of how he was promoted by Mayweather Promotions. Ryan has made it clear that Raleigh avoided him multiple times, starting when Garcia was coming off a long layoff. Even when the WBC ordered the fight, Ryan claims Raleigh dodged it. He believes that after he beat fighters like Emmanuel Tego and Javier Fortuna and pushed hard to make the matchup happen, Raleigh continued to back away.
You know, better be a two-time world champion, being a three-time world champion.
From Garcia's perspective, it all makes sense. Raleigh ducked him and instead took a worse deal by fighting Pitbull Cruz, only to return to negotiations with Ryan when he thought the odds were in his favor. Boxing observers, including outlets like Boxing News 24, pointed out that Raleigh could have made more money and headlined a major card with Garcia, but for whatever reason, he chose a different path.
What's your reaction to the fight, champ? What's the reaction to the fight?
I thought the night kind of underperformed.
Okay.
So whatever
This one.
was bigger than the fight itself. Unfortunately, you know, I was surprised with what Rolly did, but he was strong as hell at 47.
Yeah.
I think that might be his weight.
I think what boxing does, style makes
Style makes fight. And that knockdown really showed, and it kind of, I don't think Ryan ever pushed him back after that knockdown.
Yeah.
I thought he should have been the aggressor.
And it cost him dearly. Not only did Raleigh lose the fight, but he lost it in brutal fashion, likely slamming the door shut on any future big paydays. According to some, Raleigh's team made a massive mistake by walking away from the Garcia deal. Still, despite Raleigh's loss and all the excuses Ryan made about not being 100% during his recent fight, fans aren't letting Garcia off the hook. Friday night's bout was supposed to be Ryan's triumphant return and a step closer to a potential rematch with Devin Haney.
Daddy, just your reaction, man. Just your reaction, man. I can't believe it.
I mean, I said, this kind of environment, like sometimes it can do, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean,
Flabbergasted?
Ryan and Devin just dropped the bag like the biggest bag drop you've ever seen. I mean, you know, tonight was going to be those two in the ring facing off for the big rematch.
Done?
Instead, Ryan Garcia lost to Rolly Romero, a fighter most expected him to beat, especially with Devin Haney's name being thrown around again. Romero entered the bout as a massive plus 700 underdog and not only dropped Ryan in the second round but controlled the rest of the fight. Garcia didn't look like himself, the volume was lacking, the aggression was gone, and there were long stretches of inactivity. It almost felt like Ryan was more focused on avoiding damage than trying to win. That's the version of Garcia fans are criticizing, the one who shows flashes early but fades when adversity appears.
Very young. The year layoff. You know, that whole year, you know, it was a lot for me mentally, you guys know. So, the fact that I got here is, it's not in my mind, it's clearly made. But, the point in the way I saw it.
After the fight, Ryan Garcia stood in the ring and gave a short, humble post-fight comment. He fought a good fight, caught me early, no excuses, congrats to him. But just minutes later, he began posting online, sounding more frustrated and introspective, saying, "I'm devastated and really sad that I fought the way I did. I just didn't have it tonight. Felt off." In the post-fight press conference, Garcia tried to explain why he felt off, blaming the unusual setup of the Times Square event. Originally advertised as a free open-air show meant to draw a massive public crowd, the event ended up being fenced off, limiting most of the visual access to VIPs or people watching from nearby buildings. He described the experience as feeling like a fever dream, stuck in a bad loop, fighting but not really feeling like he was in a fight. He acknowledged that the year-long break since the Haney fight had also taken a toll on him mentally and physically. "I'm just happy that I made it to the ring and went 12 rounds," he said, trying to keep the tone positive. But the reality is, fans aren't buying the explanations.
What you mean all the noises? It was quiet.
Did you hear Abraham? Ryan said he didn't feel right all week. Coming to the fight,
Well, yes, he knew he was going to fight some. They're going to tie a number down.
When you put the pieces together, the Haney win under a PED cloud, the loss to Tank where he took a knee, the inactivity after being dropped by Raleigh, and now the talk of the fight feeling off because of the venue, the criticism seems inevitable. Garcia is being scrutinized not just as a boxer, but as a professional who may lack the hunger or toughness that separates champions from viral stars. His own words don't help either. Saying it felt like a sparring match in a major bout comes across to many as another excuse from a fighter who once promised to shock the world, but is now struggling to deliver consistent, convincing performances.
That whole year, you know, it was a lot for me mentally. You guys know. So, the fact that I got here, so trying in my mind every day. But, going into where I'm from.
Even with his physical gifts, the speed, the power, the sharp combinations, fans are now questioning the other half of the fight game, the mental toughness, the heart, and whether he has it. For all of Ryan's flash and following, it seems more and more people are unconvinced that he can handle pressure when he's hurt. They say he folds when he's down, doesn't dig deep, and when things don't go his way, the excuses come fast. But there's one thing. Ryan Garcia might have just blown his chance to re-enter the sport's highest tier. All he had to do was beat Raleigh, not even dominate him, just win.
It wasn't really hard. Are you like surprised by the dub? No, you thought Rolly could pull it off.
I didn't know who was gonna win. If I'm being, I thought it was gonna end in a knockout by either way. So I didn't know who. But I'm surprised that it went 2-2.
That win would have granted him a blockbuster rematch with Devin Haney, a chance to avenge the no contest ruling that erased his defining victory due to a positive test for Austere. Haney was in Times Square, staying up just to watch Ryan's bout, likely licking his chops for the rematch, the money, and the narrative it carried. Instead, Garcia delivered the performance of someone completely disconnected, as if he had no real skin in the game anymore.